we're coming in to tell you what wage theft looks like. And so as I was saying, wage theft also takes the form of wage increase that were given to students in years prior that were eliminated when the new wage increase was given to us last fall. So some students had 50-cent wage increase, 75-cent wage increase that had accumulated years prior for working semesters prior to last fall, 2016, that were eliminated when the new wage increase came in. And we also have students who are working career jobs without career pay. So you have students who are cashiering who aren't being paid as cashiers, which is like double the pay, or not double the pay, $2 what we usually get. As well as you have, is there anything else? And you have us doing custodial work, you have us doing work that we're not supposed to be doing. So wage theft comes in a lot of forms. And then when we say living wage, we're not talking about a $15 hourly wage, we're talking about 16.81, which is what Berkeley certifies as the minimum wage. So when we say living wage, we mean being able to live in Berkeley, in the Bay Area, and attending UC Berkeley, which is costing us a shit ton of money that you're not paying us enough to be able to afford. So we went into GBC with the intent of not leaving until you met those demands. So when you have, so it's been a few days, So it's been a few days, and we haven't even heard anything from our managers about anything about wages. We haven't received any emails from you. So we're here not to talk. We're here to get a statement whether or not you're going to meet that demand, and it's a yes or no. Because when we went into that occupation, we said that we vowed that we were going to escalate the campaign if you didn't meet those demands. And so you're either going to say yes or you're going to say no. Will you meet those demands, yes or no, for a living wage and the return of thousands in wage theft? Sorry.
I can't respond to that question. I need a list of people who it's impacted. You make a statement that's not actually correct. I'd like to see the people you're saying that were impacted and their wages were taken away and they didn't get their increases. Because I know that we did give increases based on the time that people had been here. So I'd like to see a list. I've not seen anybody or a list of names of people that have been impacted. This is Roy. He works with us on HR and payroll. He's happy to work with us and research any issues or claims of any wrongdoing as far as pay goes. We're happy to look at it, but you've not given me a list of names.
What about when student workers came to payroll proactively? They realized that they hadn't received their pay raise for the semesterly increase that they were promised. They went to payroll actively and they were told, we'll get back to you about it. Well, it'll take a while for us to get to get whatever papers up to date, and then you'll get the pay raise that you were promised. And several of these student workers quit before they ever received any of the pay raise that they were promised, without ever receiving any of the back pay that they deserve. The pay that they deserved to receive but did not receive. And they quit out of either frustration or out of, I had to drop out and go to LA where my family is because I couldn't afford to live here anymore. Okay. And I just felt like it was hopeless to keep working for an institution that continues to steal my wage while also refusing to provide affordable resources for me as a student here.
This is also a very systematic process. Like, it's not like one or two students are like, oh fuck, like I didn't get my wage increase. Like, this happened across the board when the minimum wage went up. Everybody
That's an inaccurate statement, though.
Actually, it's not.
It is an inaccurate statement.
So your statement about students haven't come in, that's complete BS, because last year or 2 years ago, when student leads at Foothill, and this was just student leads from late night and from a few other shifts, who came together to account of how much their back pay had accumulated to, was $12,000 just for a few years. And so when they came in to RSSP to demand that back pay back, they were laughed at. And it took them 12 months, over a year, for RSSP to get through their paperwork in order to get only a portion of that $12,000 back. And that was only student leads at Foothill, not the entire work crew of student workers at Foothill, and not entire student workers population at this campus for that year.
And when student leads at Crossroads confronted their managers about why they weren't getting lead pay, they were just told that it was too much work for payroll, which is pretty ridiculous if that's the only job that payroll has, is like to ensure that students are paid. And so I don't understand why the burden is on us to make sure that we're not getting paid, because we know we're not getting paid correctly. Like, that's something that payroll needs to just figure out. Like, they need to just pay students correctly, because that's like the one job they have.
I would like to introduce myself again. My name is.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. So what's
But
happening?
you're not being
No,
fair.
no. So
You really are
No,
not being
you're not.
fair.
What about
your
you're not being fair,
statement?
okay? We have come to you
No,
over
no.
several months. Several
No,
months. Several
okay,
of us
yeah.
have come to you demanding what we deserve, what you said you would pay us, and now you're saying, "Oh, well, we have to look at the paperwork. Oh, you're not being fair to us." No, you're not being fair.
No, I'm saying you're
I had to
not-
drop out of school because I could not fucking afford to go to school here while
Grace.
also working.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay?
And
And the wage theft is just insult to injury.
Yeah.
We need a living wage and we need our back pay now.
exactly, and you have to understand, because like, sorry, some of our tones might be a little unprofessional.
Well, they're
No,
hard
no,
to
no.
really work with. To be
I know
honest
they're
with
hard to really work with, but you have to understand when we're getting paid a shit
you.
wage.
I don't appreciate
when we're
being
getting
recorded.
paid.
I'll ask again not to record me.
Someone you could just hold it to the wall or whatever.
Yeah,
but when
I
we're
like
not
it. There's
getting,
nothing
when we're getting
to
paid
stop.
shit wages, and we can't, and you're forcing us to work over 15 hours, over 40 hours a week, far beyond the recommended amount of shifts, in order to barely make our rent, in order to barely scrape by on food and healthcare, people are angry. I have had friends who have been evicted from their apartments. Grace and I are currently on the potential of being homeless because we haven't been able to afford housing in the Bay Area because your job doesn't pay us well enough and you've taken wages from us. So, it's a problem. We're angry, and one more time, are you going to meet our demands for a living wage?
I cannot-
Yes
I
or
don't have
no?
the
And we need that
authority to do
answer
that.
now.
That is not. I don't have the authority for
Okay, great. So
So-
when we escalate this campaign, and this will be the final statement, when we escalate this campaign in the coming time, it's going to be on you. We've come here, we've already met multiple times to tell you what our demands are. You've seen how angry we are. You see the support that we have from student workers, from students across campus. So when we escalate this campaign, you know, you had your opportunity.